but knock yourselves out.
What time are you flying?
In about 5 minutes. Rolling 3 nights.
We go?
Yep.
We're rolling.
Yes.
We're
Stop
off.
doing that with your eye.
We're
Oh
rolling.
God,
That's
that's
the
not
first
creepy at
question.
all. That's not creepy at all.
Charlie's this way. So Ridley calls. He said he's returning to the alien universe.
You're like, good luck, man.
Sense of the Master returning. What was that? Getting that phone call like?
I mean, look.
I got a fax, actually.
You got a fax. Pigeon carrier pigeon. I think for all of us, there's a part of you that just kind of feels like it's a no-brainer. How amazing! How, not only are you working with one of the greats, but you're working with them on something that is kind of, it's their ball of wax. This is what he does so well.
Yeah, I mean, I knew about the film before I was on board, or before I was asked to be on board, and so I thought, oh, this is never going to happen. It's been one of those things that'll just pass me by. But yeah, I was very excited when it came my way.
I spoke to you guy at the Lockout junket. You obviously remember, and you couldn't tell me anything about this. But I've heard you speak since about how it's not a prequel. You spoke very eloquently about it. But your character is the link between the two worlds, isn't it?
Well, to a certain degree, I guess the name Wayland is referenced in those other films, and now we finally get to see him finally after all this time. So yeah, he's the guy who's funding these missions, but essentially, it's there's a philosophy and some ideas behind this story that aren't necessarily explored in the Alien films. So it's a very different film, and not necessarily a prequel as such.
And Charlize, your character's a red tape. It's a tricky one to play, isn't it? You're the guy, the person that no one wants to be, basically.
Yeah. It's like a fine line of like, oh God, I hate this person, and trying to kind of deliver something that's interesting in there. But yeah, I never wanted her to just be the character with the job. I wanted her to. I thought there was great potential in someone that kind of represented everything, went against everything that everyone was really there to do, and to kind of play in the gray zones of that. That was interesting for me.
The fact that we're sitting here in some sort of spaceship tells me the scale of this movie was pretty big. When was that moment for you guys?
Walking onto the set the first day was pretty impressive. I mean, I really didn't expect that we were going to have the entire spaceship, and then on top of that, kind of approaching Ridley Scott and him saying, "Welcome to your spaceship." I mean, that's
not much green screen either, right?
No, basically none. I mean, there might have been a little bit out of window occasionally, but no, it was all built stuff. And I remember seeing a couple of sets and being completely awestruck, and over a couple of days, and somebody then saying, "Oh, but have you seen the big stage?" You go, "Oh, there's more." So yeah, it was quite awesome, really.
And for what about, just finally for you guys, so now that we're at the age where you can go into space, you can be a space tourist, do you fancy it?
I thought we were there now. I thought that's what we're doing.
Would you go?
To space?
Yeah.
Would you be there?
Oh, that's nice.
Because if you were...
You would go?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like, I'm not super obsessed with it. Like, I'm not...
Not like you are with other things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like...
Not OCD about space.
Not OCD about it. I mean, if I got the opportunity, I would do it, but I'm not, like, foaming at the mouth.
Well, you get to do it here, so it's all good.
Yeah, maybe I feel like I vicariously did it already through Ridley Scott. That's pretty badass.
Perfect, brilliant, lovely. Thanks, guys.
No worries, thank you.
Do you mind if I quickly perch behind you for a picture of a Twitter? Is that okay? No pictures.